Now I'd like to ask Ben if he'd like to say a few words about his experience on the Purple Line from a more global perspective. And then I'll come back, circle back and talk about next steps and strategy.
Thanks very much. As Gary mentioned, I am the chair of the statewide Maryland Transit Opportunities Coalition. And that really was brought together because we started seeing these big road projects, gigantic toll lane projects that would cost, $8 billion, $9 billion, probably in reality 20 or 30. And we said, what could you do with that money? And we brought the people together around the state. And for the same amount of money that will build toll lanes on the Beltway, 270, and BW Parkway, which I should probably mention, none of which does very much for Southern Maryland. You could build the Southern Maryland Light Rail. You could build the Red Line in Baltimore, which would be just a tremendous economic boost. It's what Baltimore needs in Baltimore. And you could build, expand service on our 3 direct MARC lines that you'd have all-day trains to Frederick. We just have organized a new affiliate in Frederick County called Trains Not Tolls. We've had a couple very successful meetings out there. And you'd be able to ride all day by train from Waldorf. It wouldn't be quick, but it's not quick to drive to Frederick or Towson or Elkton. And all of that would cost less than this toll lane project. So this is very feasible. And it is also very popular because what we have seen is we calculated what the toll has to be for the one piece of the toll lane project that we have some real numbers on. And the rush hour toll to drive from Frederick to Shady Grove would have to be $41 one way. So we did not do any polls to find out how popular a $41 toll would be. But then the Washington Post just did one. They didn't even mention the numbers. And a majority of Maryland voters prefer investing in transit and are against this toll lane plan. So we have an opening here. And it's an opening that we can win with. And the experience of the Purple Line proves that. The Purple Line, I have to tell you, I wasn't even around for the beginning of the campaign for the Purple Line. I got involved a few years after. But that project was completely given up for dead a couple times. We had a Montgomery County executive who was against it. And we had a council that was evenly divided. But people power and public support made that happen. It made that happen. We have now, it is under construction. Across the street from where I live in Bethesda, literally on the block across the street from me, there were 4 construction cranes. One of them is just finishing up a 15-story office building. The other one is on the site where the Purple Line station is going to be. The Purple Line station is going to be in the basement, and then there are going to be 3 towers, 18, 22, and 26 stories high. One of them offices and the other 2 apartments, right above the Purple Line, and then the Purple Line station will be in the basement, and there'll be an elevator down to the Red Line. So that can be done. And what did it was people power. And when the people organize, the politicians come around. And that has already happened here. You've got a lot of support. But you have to keep the people power up. We have now on the Purple Line, let me just say, you are already at the stage that we did not get to in terms of political support and environmental studies until around 2011 or 2012. It took well, it's taken you a long time to get to this stage too, but it took us a long time, and we had tough opposition because the Purple Line uses an old railroad track that goes through the middle of the golf course of one of the most expensive country clubs in the Washington area. And they have literally spent millions of dollars fighting it. But people power defeated that, and you, to be honest, you do not have that kind of obstacle. You have the public support, but you have to keep the people power there, and you'll win.
Thank you.